Dad, I'm really bored with my Nintendo Wii. Can I give it to my friend Angel? I go, what did you just say? I'm bored with my Nintendo Wii. Can I give it away? I go, is it broken? No. How long have you had it? Woo, for like 4 years. I go, how many games do you have for the Nintendo Wii? Like 300? I could feel you judging me over there. I felt that. Oh, you're judging me right now. I could feel it. She's over there. She's like, this is some Dr. Phil right here. He really messed him up. I heard you. Let me just, for the record, let me set this straight, okay? I did not buy my son 300 games. Here's what happened. I have a friend who's a computer hacker, and for 75 bucks, he put 300 games on my son's hard drive. Yes, I have money, but I'm still ghetto. Oh, yeah. So I tell Frankie, do you realize how lucky you are? And then he rolls his eyes. Oh, lucky. I go, yeah, dude, you are. I says, you got a Nintendo Wii that works. You've had it for 4 years, and it still works. If something happens to it, I can take it back to the store, get you a new one, because I got a warranty that'll last you another 4 years. Why is that a big deal? Because when I was your age, I had a Nintendo. Wii? No. Frankie, in 1987, I had a thing called a Nintendo Entertainment System, okay? Nintendo Entertainment System. It didn't last 4 years. It lasts 90 days. 90 days is what it took for you to hit power and start seeing a flashing red screen. You know the flashing red screen where you have to look at the ground or look away or you have a seizure right then and there? Oh, yeah. And then what you had to do is you had to flip the Nintendo over, and there was a silver sticker with an 800 number on it. And you call the 800 number, and they put you in contact with someone in Japan who made you feel like a pendejo. Oh, yeah, he made you feel stupid. You call him up, and he's like, it costs $250 to repair Nintendo. $250 to fix it, but it's $150 for a brand new one. And if you couldn't afford $150 for a brand new one, like we couldn't afford $150 for a brand new one, you had to become a technician at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You had to go in the kitchen and find the most messed up butter knife you could, right? The one that had bent marks and rust stains, and take that sucker back in the living room because you were gonna perform an operation. You were gonna perform an operation and bring that Nintendo back to life. Yeah. You had to work to play. You had to unplug it, plug it back in, power reset, power reset, power reset. It was like performing CPR. You'd hold a cartridge, and then it was like, you push it down, you push it up, you push it down, you push it up, push it down, you push it up, push it down, you push it up. Give it oxygen. About gay men. I know you're in here. I saw the line. I'm gonna tell you something about gay men. Gay men are very creative, they're very persistent, and they're very opportunistic when they want to achieve the mission. They're just as calculated as straight men are. I'll give you an example, I'll tell you a story, right? So, one night, Martin and I are at a bar, and we're having drinks. And that should come as no surprise. Oh, really, they were drinking? Yeah, we killed it. So, as we're drinking, Martin is paying attention, and he's listening in to a conversation that's happening about 15 feet away between these two girls. They're going back and forth, and one of them was like, I don't believe we finished the whole bottle. How the hell are we supposed to get home? Martin stands up, looks at me, and says, bro, I'll be back. And then it began, the hunt. You know, freaking. Gay men are the exact same way. They listen, they focus, they pay attention. They wait for one of the cows to get away from the rest of the herd so they can corner it and strike. 4 hours later, Martin and I are at the bar, and I'm 16 shots of tequila in. Oh yeah, and I feel fantastic. And I tell Martin, bro, I don't remember the last time I had this many shots of tequila. And Martin goes, bro, you're crazy, Fluffy. You're crazy. Wait right here. I gotta pee. And so he leaves to the restroom, and I'm leaning against the bar. The bar is the only thing keeping me standing. And from across the room, this guy stands up, looks at his friends, and says, I'll be back. And then it began. The hunt. Dun 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 dun. And he gets in my face and he tells me, I just have to say, I am such a huge fan of yours. Oh my God! Anytime someone says they're a huge fan of mine, it automatically makes me smile. Even more so if I've been drinking. Oh yeah, if I'm drinking, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Bro, I was so loaded, I bowed. Thank you. The guy puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, I just have to say, you have gotten me through some difficult time. And he stops talking and he squeezes and he goes, oh my God. Do you work out? I was so drunk, I said, a little. You're the first person to notice. And he's like, oh, you could totally tell. And he squeezed again. And I said, I'm sorry, am I overstepping? No, bro, you don't understand. I'm stressed out. That felt pretty good. Want me to rub both your shoulders and your back and scratch it? Because I will. Oh, whoa. Hey, go for it. He grabs me by the shoulders, you guys. He grabs me by the shoulders and he turns me around. Now I'm facing the bartender and the bartender is trying to warn me. The bartender's like, hello, 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 hello. I'm so drunk, I'm like, ah! I did manage to stay busy during the pandemic. I did a movie from my living room. Yeah, and it wasn't even on Pornhub. The movie already came out in theaters. It's called Space Jam. It's the movie with LeBron. Los Angeles, you are looking at the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. Thank you. I found it ironic that they hired the slowest Mexican to play the fastest. You know? And 2 weeks after I get this part, I come to find out that they're trying to cancel Speedy Gonzalez. I'm sure some of you heard that they came after two cartoons. They came after Pepe Le Pew and Speedy. Now, Pepe, I understand. He's a little touchy. You know, but he disguises it with the Mosheri, Mosheri, But Speedy Gonzalez, what's his crime? He's Mexican and he's fast. That is not a crime. In Montebello, that's called job security. So I said, I cannot let them hurt Speedy. You know, I can't let them cancel him. So I came to his defense. Plus, it was my only job. I went to the only place I felt I could go to protect him. I went on Twitter. And Twitter, ooh, Twitter's a scary place. It is. You only go there to fight, to get into it, to prove a point. And so a friend of mine said, if you want to get some attention, use a hashtag. And so I did. And I wrote a tweet that said, hey, hashtag cancel culture. My name is Gabriel Iglesias, and I'm the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. You cannot cancel or catch me. And I posted it. I had no idea that when you go on Twitter looking for problems, you will find them. Oh yeah, every major news outlet picked up my tweet and used it in a story about cancel culture. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. If I would have known that, I would have used spell check. Because my family called. Eres pendejo, qué chingados, ¿qué te pasa? No escribe bien. Oh my God. Even Fox News did a story with my tweet. Fox News. You know how I know? My bus driver, Dave, called me. Oh, he was thrilled. He was like, Fluffy, God damn it, I've never been prouder. You made it, baby. You're on Fox News. I said, Dave, shut up. You're stupid. He's like, America. Even Warner Brothers Pictures reached out to say thank you. And before I know it, I was on a Zoom call. And I know a lot of us had to get used to Zoom. And it's kind of convenient, right? All they see is this. So to entertain myself, every time I took a Zoom call, I was full Winnie the Pooh. And if you're not laughing right now, you better ask someone who is, because there is no coming back from full Winnie the Pooh. I was leaving baby powder all over the house. It looked like an episode of Narcos. So I get on this Zoom call with the director, writer, and producer of Space Jam. And they're being super nice, super supportive, super cool. They're like, Gabriel, thank you so much for lending your voice talents to our film. We really, really appreciate you being part of this. If you have any questions or concerns, let us know. So, well, thank you. We have a question for you. I said, okay. How do you feel about the voice of Speedy Gonzalez? I said, well, what do you mean? Well, you know, some people find him to be a little stereotypical. What are your thoughts? I said, well, you have not met my family. I cannot speak for all brown people, but I can tell you that me personally, in my house growing up, Speedy Gonzalez was not viewed in a negative way. As a matter of fact, he was the only form of representation we had growing up. It was him and the little bumblebee on The Simpsons. Gabriel, we were thinking that perhaps you would like to lend your real speaking voice to the character, maybe modernize him a little, you know, bring him up to speed. I said, well, you know, with all due respect, I appreciate the fact that you would give me the power to change the sound of such an iconic character. But at the end of the day, when people see the movie, I don't want them to think of me. I want them to think of Speedy Gonzalez. So I said, please keep his voice original. And then he asked the question, well, do you think you can do the voice? How did I get the part? Now remember, I never auditioned for Speedy Gonzalez. They just called me, and I assumed that they knew that I did voices for a living and that I could pull this off. So I says, what made you choose me if you didn't know whether or not I could do the... Oh. You needed a big brown shield in case shit happened, huh? And then all three people on the phone call were like... I said, well, don't worry, because with me, you get a twofer. You get an actual Mexican, and you get someone that can nail the voice. So, oh yeah. That's right. So before I know it, this sound person, the guy who does recordings over at Warner Brothers, gets on the call. The only thing I know about this guy is that he's loud. Okay, he gets on the call, he's like, Gabriel Iglesias, how are you? Wow. How's it going? My name is Steven. I'm the sound coordinator here at Warner Brothers Pictures. So listen, buddy, here's what's going to happen. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record. And as soon as I hit record, I just need for you to start talking like Speedy Gonzalez. We're going to get the flow, the tempo, the timing. And as soon as we got it dialed in, we're going to make a movie. Sound good? Sounds good. All right, this is Gabriel Iglesias for Space Jam, A New Legacy. Speedy Gonzalez, take one. Gabriel, mic check, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sounds good. All right, here we go. And go. All right, here we go.
Hola amigos, I am Speedy González de Pases Mausenón, México. ¡Arriba! ¡Epa, pándale!
The director, writer, and producer, all three were like, that was perfect. I said, I know, I've been Mexican a long time. And I said, and don't just think that just because I'm Mexican, I can only play the Mexican character. I said, I do voices for a living. If given the opportunity, I could voice the entire film all by myself. I could. Watch. Marvin the Martian.
Oh my modulator.
Yosemite Sam.
I'll hike that rabbit.
Bugs Bunny.
What's up, Doc?
I said, you can fire all the other voice actors right now. I will do the whole movie for half plus medical insurance. And it was the middle of 2020, so I meant that shit. I'm like, yeah, no copay, no copay. For those of you who still don't know, there are 5 levels of fatness. Fluffy is one of the levels. There's big, healthy, husky, fluffy, and damn! I'm still number 4. People go, how do you know when you're number 5? Well, because people will tell you, you know? If you try to get on an elevator that's crowded and people stop you and go, damn! If you go to Disneyland and little kids want to ride you,
I want to get on that one. Damn.
yeah, I'm sorry, little kids are too honest, man. They're like little alcoholics. You know, and as far as, you know, Disneyland, I love Disneyland, but they're not fluffy friendly. They're not, man. They care about safety, you know. And that sucks, because I can handle 1 bar. 1 bar, I'm cool. But now they got the whole, you know. If you're fluffy, one of those is not gonna lock. You're trying. People are in line. You can do it! One time I took a trip with my buddy Mondo, right? Big guy, another big guy. And I went with him because his family, you know, they decided to go and he didn't want to be the only one hanging out by the strollers. So we're hanging out, and at the end of the day, my buddy Mondo goes, dude, we should get on a ride. I go, which one? We can't get on none of them, dude, we're too big. He goes, there's a ride here at Disneyland. It's called Splash Mountain. I go, well, what is that? He goes, it's a log, and you get inside the log, and it goes uphill, goes down, makes a splash. No seatbelt, no pull bar. You just get in and go. I go, no seatbelt? No pull bar? So we get in line for it, right? We're all pumped up, and I see people getting off the ride with these little note cards. I go, what are those? He goes, oh, they take a photo of you when you go downhill. Oh, okay, cool. So we get to the front of the line, and then we have to deal with the lady with the headset. The lady who takes her job way too serious.
Okay, how many people? 4? Okay, 2 here, 2 here. How many? 5? Okay, 3 there, 2 there.
And we get to the front.
How many people?
Who cares? We get our own boat, right? We take off. We're splishing and splashing like little kids. 3 minutes go by, the moment of truth. We get to the hill, right? My buddy Mondo turns around and he says, dude, let's flash the camera. I said, you're stupid. I'm down. So as soon as it let us go, right? We get off the ride, we are soaking wet. We're all rosado right here. We got a mean old baby rash. We go to buy the picture, and there's a lady behind the counter with her hand on the screen. And I asked my buddy Mondo, I said, bro, what boat are we? He says, 22. I go, she's covering 22. He goes, oh, we better sneak out of here. Oh, yeah, we're gonna sneak out. We get past the picture girl, but then we get stopped by Disney security. And you have not lived until you've been stopped by a freaking man wearing a badge in the shape of a mouse. This guy was like, hold on a second. Ma'am, move your hand away from the screen. You guys see what I see here? That's a disgrace to this park. We can't believe anyone could take such a photo. My question to you guys, do you recognize the 2 big women in this picture? And it wasn't until we walked over to this photo that my buddy Armando and I realized something about ourselves. And that is that when two full-grown, fluffy men are going downhill at a 45-degree angle with no shirts on going like this, we both look like sexy and it was local, so I took him home. And that is an argument that nobody in this building has ever had at 3 o'clock in the morning. Because you don't just walk into the house with 11 cakes. You make some noise, you know. And I walk in with the last 2 cakes, and my girlfriend's in the kitchen, and she's like, "What the hell is this?" I'm trying to be cute. It's a bakery. "Where did you get all this cake?" I said, "Baby, the people at the show brought it." "Are you gonna eat all of it?" "Eventually. I'm not gonna do it in one hit, you know, freaking 2 hours later. Clear." How do you know someone isn't trying to poison you? With cake? Are you serious? It's like you live by the cake, you die by the cake, you know? No. So we're going back and forth, right? We wake up Frankie, and Frankie walks into the kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's all, "What's going on?" "Where did all the cake come from?" "The people at the show brought it." "Tell them I said thank you." "I'll tell them you said thank you, Frankie." "Gabriel, how come they bring you cake?" "Because 10 years ago I did a joke where I said, I love chocolate cake. Now people bring me cake." "You should say you love Transformers." I'll start doing it, all right? So my girl's like, "Baby, put Frankie to bed." I go, "Frankie, you gotta go back to sleep." "Want some cake?" "Yeah." So I grabbed one of these tiny cakes that somebody brought me, one of those little tiny ones that has the plastic cover and the sticker on the side, and I handed it to him. I go, "Here." He goes, "A little piece?" I go, "Dude, it's a small cake. You could have the whole thing." And the look that came over his face at 3 o'clock in the morning was like he got a gift from God. Because I said, "Here," and he was like, "Oh, Take it to your room. I went to go take him to school the next morning. He's in the bathroom crying. "Hey, are you okay?" "My stomach." "Your stomach? Too much cake?" "Yeah." "Was it good?" "Hell yeah." "I'll see you in the car." 20 minutes later, he comes to the car and he's all sweaty. "You all right? What happened?" "I blew it up." Get in the car. I get him to school 45 minutes late. And usually when I drop him off, you guys, I leave him on the side of the school, and they have like a drop-off zone with cones and a supervisor to make sure that your kid gets off safely. When you're 45 minutes late, there's nobody there. So I left him in front of the school. And apparently that's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. I didn't know, you know. Go for it. "I'm not supposed to. I know, dude. Just go. You're late. Go." Out of nowhere, here comes the principal. And I know it's the principal because he's like, "It's the principal. It's the principal. It's the principal. It's the principal." I'm like, "Dude, relax. I'm 30. I don't give a damn." Here comes the principal.
Sir, this is not the designated drop-off area. Please take your child to the other side of the school. You cannot leave him here.
I was like, "Watch this."
Señora, no sé lo que está diciendo. Estoy dejando a mi hijo aquí. Aquí va a la escuela. Su mamá no se levantó. Yo no sé qué está pasando.
That's how you do it, homeboy. That's how you do it. That principal was amazing because she was like,
Usted no puede dejar su hijo aquí. Saca la vuelta a la otro lado de la escuela. Allá sí, sí, aquí no. Allá sí, sí, aquí no. Yo no soy pendejo.